Well, the mega ramp in the DC video was he wanted to, because he always had these crazy ideas. It was like the super ramp in '97 where he jumped out of the helicopter. It was like always something that was like bigger and crazier than what anyone, just. I mean, he just wanted to push skateboarding,
right, and himself,
yeah, because he's had that in him, know. And then so he wanted to go further and higher than anyone. So Ocean Pacific random company had OP had this thing called King of Skate in 2002, and it was like a pay-per-view event. And they did it with Skateboarder magazine. So that's where the original mega ramp was. Oh. And he went I think he went like 65 feet. Yeah, I'm sure he'll correct me on Thursday. And then did like a 16.5-foot backside air. So he did like the furthest distance and the highest at the time, like backside air. So, from building that, because, skateboarding, as we all know, is not the most like exact science. Sure. Yeah. So it was just from that, then the mega ramp for the DC video got built. Mm-hmm. And it was like he learned from that first experience to make like a bigger roll in. The quarter pipe had to be a certain way.
Right.
Just
it's trial and error.
Literally trial and error.
Yeah.
Even China was trial and error, where it was like that's why he broke his foot.
The Great Wall.
The Great Wall. Because the ramp, the roll in wasn't big enough. There was humidity in the air.
Oh my god!
And the takeoff ramp wasn't quite like steep enough, I think. Okay. But nonetheless, he came up short, like very short, and that's how he broke his foot.
And
to
he
oblivion.
still went and did it.
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah,
he's out of his mind.
No, it was insane. And
were you there for that?
I was.
Oh,
I remember him calling my room the morning of, and China had a national work stoppage. And they were like snapped because he was not meant to skate any time other than when the Chinese government had told everyone they could not, that they had to watch this while he skated. So he wasn't allowed to skate other than when they had the national work stoppage.
So the national work stoppage was for that?
For that. So everyone in the country could see this like glorious moment of this guy jumping over their Great Wall.
Oh. Wow, I didn't know that.
So he called me the next morning. He's like, dude, it's kind of a lot of pressure. And I was like, you know what?
It's a lot of people in that country.
Yeah, I was like, there's only a few billion people watching. It's no big deal.
With a B.
With a B. Yeah. And a broken foot. That was taped up. It was
not. Wait, so he broke his foot in the practice.
He broke his foot the day before testing. He's like, dude, I gotta test this ramp out. Right. Like, I gotta do this. I gotta figure out how to skate this. And there are all these Chinese officials there, and he's like trying to take photos with him and trying to like get him out of there, so he can skate his ramp. Like he's like, dude, I want to skate this thing, but he wasn't allowed to. And so by the time they had left and he rolled in and skated, it was, the air was more humid, and he just realized the ramp wasn't built right. Long story short, no pun intended.
Under these conditions.
Yeah, and he came up hella short. Damn. And so then the government found out that he skated and broke his foot, and they were snapped. They wanted to dead the whole thing right then and there. And I don't know, some behind the scenes negotiation. I don't know what happened. I was in the lobby eating pizza, hoping that this guy, his foot would be okay.
Yeah.
We brought a doctor with him, and they went to the hospital and whatever x-rayed his foot and numbed it, taped it, and his foot was literally like taped together.
Wow.
And I remember we showed up that morning when he was finally like allowed to skate, and he was hobbling. I mean, he couldn't walk. And they had put this like basically sheets of plywood down the roll in, and he's like, dude, take that off there. I cannot roll in there. And I just remember them they're like, really? And they took it all off, and it was just like, 65 foot, whatever it was, roll in on the edge, just a sheer drop. I mean, you go off of that and you're dead, like guaranteed you're not living, and with a broken foot. It was so gnarly, and just seeing those like things, and even like how he pushed skating, like with the mega ramp, the very first time he rolled in on the mega ramp, he like took off and went like sideways in the air and landed and got like masonite burn all up his side. And he was just like, fuck, like screaming. I was like, whoa, like this is gnarly, like, and just seeing him like push himself through those scenarios is insane.
I mean, listen, the guy broke his neck surfing.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's been through. He's
gnarly.
It's insane.
Yeah. So wait, they didn't modify the ramp after he knew he didn't.
He came up short.
Yeah, he came up short on.
So they did. The ramp, the guys that built the ramp were modifying it.
Okay.
All the while behind the scenes, I think government was pissed and so on and so forth. But if you look at, there's like a piece, whatever it was, like a 4 feet, like added to the top of the roll in, and I think they did something to the takeoff ramp, and they just made these minor adjustments, to where it would pitch him the right way.
Right.
But that's the fascinating and amazing thing about skating, and that's what we all do. Like you see a spot and you're like, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
Where when you photograph other things, there's a dude sitting there with like a computer and measuring wind speed and knows the weight of the car or the motorcycle, and it's like an exact science.
Sure.
Skating ain't like that.
No.
No, and it's I don't think it's meant to be.
No,
it's like,
absolutely.
Where is that like button? Right? Is it right here or right here?
Just a little scroll coming down the bottom.
It's
subscribe
over to it's on your
on my
left.
right? It's
No,
on my
on
left.
your left.
Hey,
Yeah.
hit that
Right there.
button right there.
Right there.
Right
Yeah,
there.
please.
The like button's kind of like in the middle there. It's like we're kind of.
Oh, it's like
there.
right here?
Kind of.
Like
yeah,
right
The
there?
subscribe's like over to the left.
Like right over there. All right.